Grant Cardone here on Ask a Pro, and every week I bring you somebody that is a professional in a particular vertical. And today I have Dennis Langlais. Dennis is in extreme sports, BMX, freestyle. He's also a business owner now after retiring from extreme sports,
Yes.
right? Motivational speaker, has done about 3,000 presentations, thousands of schools, showing people how to manufacture. And I talk about this all the time. How do you manufacture being a celebrity? Your goal should be to manufacture yourself as a celebrity, which goes straight in the face of you actually saying, I want to be famous. And everybody tells you, oh, no, you don't want to say that. Don't talk about money. Don't talk about fame. You do want to be famous, folks, if you want to grab it. So it's great to have you here today, Dennis. Before we get started in why people should become a celebrity and how to, what is your background?
I'm an extreme sports athlete, well, was in the young days. I got the
How old are you now?
I'm 47.
Okay. So when do you retire from extreme sports?
2005.
Okay.
And so I got the lucky opportunity to be famous before I even knew what famous was. I was traveling around the world, people asking for autographs, people saying, hey, we want to pay you to sponsor you, pay you to...
And what was the extreme sports?
So freestyle BMX. So the ramps
Okay.
you see in the X Games,
Okay.
all the commercials now have where you're going up the ramps and flipping around and coming back down.
Okay.
And so I had that unique opportunity to do that and travel the world. And I didn't really realize the power of that back then, right? And so
That's a monster audience, right?
Oh yeah, I mean worldwide.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that sport was more popular overseas than here in the United States because, I don't know, they just love it overseas. They just love like Americans. So
They love
Trump's daughter says.
Yeah. So is freestyle mostly an American sport that is now exported?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And are other people from other parts of the world starting to, I guess, get involved in the sport and become the superheroes? And
Well, now it's mainstream, right? You got Mountain Dew, you got Red Bull behind it.
Right,
You got
right.
all the bigwigs, Toyota's behind it.
Uh-huh.
X Games happens 2 or 3 times a year. It's a major event.
it's really a generation. It's a millennial sport.
Yes.
When you say Generation X, maybe, and or Y, is it Y? I don't know that.
I don't either.
Okay, so you're out on the road doing this. People are saying, hey, giving you deals, offering you deals. What happens? Why do you get out of the sport?
Too old now, obviously. Like, bones don't last that long, and you got to move on from any sport, football, extreme sports especially. You just can't do it your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Nor do I want to. There's some people that are still doing it in the event fields where they do special, shows, but I did not want to stay in there. I wanted to move on and what I call chapter 5 of my life. I wanted to go and do it all over again in a different way. So.
And I mean, the fact is, everybody is going to have to move on. I
Yes.
mean, I like that. Everybody's going to be in transition, whether you're in the military and you got to come back, or you turn 47 years old. So why celebrity? I mean, why did you pick this particular angle?
Well, you know what? As I started this new company in the podcast, I realized that when you're a professional or a celebrity, you get opportunity. You get this right here has come from my celebrity status action. You saw me online. You said, "Dude, what's that backdrop?"
Yeah.
All right. So I presented myself.
Yeah,
as a
that was on a
professional.
blab, right?
Right.
Yeah,
the blab.
yeah.
So I got your attention without even saying a word.
And he does the 5-Minute Bark podcast, by
Yes.
the way, if you want to tune into it and listen to it. I was doing a blab, just to catch you up. I was doing a blab. I think, was Bradley on that blab?
Yes, yes.
And this cat comes in, and a bunch of other people were coming in and asking questions. Dude, his whole set up. I'm like, man, this cat, immediately, I'm like, this guy is a pro.
Yeah.
So he immediately aligned himself with what other celebrity, like the studio, right? It looks very professional. Like if you can somehow figure out, I don't think your set cost a lot of money.
No.
But it did look immediately, gave me the sense of, oh, this guy's an expert.
Exactly. You know what? When you're trying to get the attention, you got to have the look. You have to have your uniform, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talk about it. I've been listening to your stuff. You talk about it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Set up yourself for success, and that's
Kim
what I did.
Kardashian's got a different uniform. It requires almost no clothing. But the
uniform.
point of that is, it is a uniform, right? It is a pitch. Kanye's got his pitch. He had his set. I have a set, right? So it doesn't have to be this jacket, or it needs to be whatever
Whatever it is.
Right.
A friend of mine told me, Dennis, if you're gonna be a businessman, get a Mercedes. Because if you drive out to a gig with a Mercedes, they know you mean business.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Even if you can't afford it, if you had it,
Yeah.
fake it till you make it. That's what
Yeah.
California's been all about
Yeah.
all along. So okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so how does somebody, grab that pole position, or how do they manufacture it? Let's say a guy's 23 or a gal's 23 years old. They haven't done anything. They're just getting out of college. How do they start thinking about, I'm gonna be the expert, the go-to person, the celeb, if you will,
Yeah.
that has a following in the space when I haven't done anything yet?
Let's just say let's start out with the local, all right? Because you've got to do
Good,
it local before
good.
you build your confidence locally. I recommend you, the restaurant you go to, the spa you go to, the gym you go to, the golf course you go to, become friends with the managers, the valets. Valets, I mean, one of the biggest assets I've ever had when I go to restaurants. I'll be on a date or a business meeting. It'll be a 2-hour wait at P.F. Chang's in La Jolla. You probably know where it is. And the valet brings me right in because I know him. I'm always taking care of him. I'm always good to him. He knows me by name. And I just walk right in. And if you're doing business,
who would wait for 2 hours to eat at P.F. Chang's?
people do. People do. It's right there on UTC.
Restaurants, dude. You got that's not celebrities don't go to P.F. Chang's, bro. We got to change the story, okay? Prime 112 down the street, right? George is in La Jolla.
There you go.
Okay.
George is doing a remodel, by the way.
Yeah.
But you're walking in there, and all of a sudden your client or your girl that you're with goes, "Wow, this guy's known."
Yeah.
So that's a smaller level of
Yeah.
celebrity status, and
Yeah.
you just build your confidence from there.
So you're saying the place to start is local,
yes.
and with whoever you can have access to immediately, which anybody can have access to the valet, to start propping yourself up. Yeah.
Because if you
To
can
be
go
recognized, basically. The goal is to be recognized.
later on, you're gonna need a bank.
Uh-huh.
I go to my bank, I get checks cashed, I get this happen, I get loan, boom. But if they don't know you,
Yeah.
then so that's a small version of celebrity status that starts there.
Uh-huh.
Now when you start getting popular, you got all these assets, right, of people around you that can support you on social media. They can come in and like your stuff. They can vouch for you. They can testimonial. So you just built this local, right, this local crowd that can then bring you to the national crowd and then the global crowd. So for example, you and I have podcasts. You know, we want to be global. We don't want to just be local. I don't want just San Diego listeners listening to my podcast. So I branch out socially on social media. I branch out on LinkedIn.
Okay, but let's
Facebook.
back up a second. Okay, so let's say the audience watching right now, it buys the idea. I want to be a celebrity. I'm going to manufacture this. I think that's the first thing.
Yeah.
You got to make a decision. Nobody is going to make you a celebrity.
Nope.
You agree with that?
No, you got to.
You have to make the celebrity because
decision.
unless you're going to be a BMXer or a baseball player, or football player, or UFC, or ballet, or you got to make this happen.
You're not deciding when you're an athlete to be a celebrity. You're deciding to be an athlete.
Yeah.
Then you become a celebrity.
And in baseball, a buddy of mine, his kid's getting ready to, it looks like he might make semi-pro, but they're like, the first thing they look at in baseball is, do you look like a baseball player? Not, are you a good baseball player?
Right.
Do you look like one? Because they're trying to see, is there going to be money here and a draw and an audience? So it all comes down to selling seats.
Exactly.
So first you make a decision to become a celebrity, start local.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've gone around the town. I don't know how this is making me any money. The valet knows me, the bank knows me, the teachers know me. Am I talking, speaking? What am I doing?
If you're doing deals and you're going to a golf course and they're taking care of you, if you're going to a restaurant, they're taking care of you. Locally, you're now a celebrity in your town. You're starting to get involved with this.
Let's say I'm 23.
Okay.
I'm 23 years
23?
old. Okay, I don't have a BMX.
I did it at 23.
I can't say that I was an athlete.
And I didn't. I left that. I have a completely different Facebook for that. That's a different world.
Okay.
In fact, when I sold my company, I wasn't even able to talk to them because word would get out that I told about my deal or so on and so forth. So I actually had to literally be forced to be separated from that industry. So I had to create myself all over again without bringing those assets in.
So create yourself. So we got to take this 23-year-old guy that's going to talk to the valet, talk to the bank, talk to the teachers, and create himself.
Yep.
As what? The expert?
So let's say he's trying to get into real estate, right?
Okay.
Perfect example in San Diego is this guy named Pete Knows PB. So now you have a theme.
Yeah.
Okay. You get your dress. You can decide your theme. Okay. And you play with it. You got to stick to that game.
So my deal now is I'm going to become the plumber, the contractor, the real estate agent, the network marketing guy in that market.
Those are so easy. I mean, you know that. I mean, nobody's taken the charge of the plumbing community or real estate. Sure, some people do.
Right.
But if you're in those areas, it's even easier to declare yourself because you can now do workshops, right?
So
Networking
declare
meetings.
yourself as the expert.
Absolutely.
No, don't wait for a PR company or somebody to discover you.
A free and simple thing to do is to set up a workshop at a local restaurant.
Okay.
Right? And invite people, set up an invitement on Facebook or whatever, and invite people. And you don't even have to be the person that speaks. If you're afraid to speak, bring experts in. Bring an expert on air conditioning, plumbing, whatever.
I like that. Collaborate with other people.
You could just sit there and you could be the hero for saying nothing.
Yeah.
I'm a talk show host. I'm not magical.
You're not the expert.
I'm just asking questions. But people text me, hey man, you did such a great job. I just turned your mind on so you could talk. right?
Yeah.
So I'm not.
So I think what you're saying is become the magnet. Become
Yes,
the magnet of
exactly.
attraction. Give people a reason to come to you. Could be a workshop.
Exactly.
It could be speaking at a school. I know you speak to a lot of schools. Why schools? Why have you used schools as your magnet?
I totally ran into that on accident. To be honest with you, I was actually coming off of being a professional athlete, and I used to get all these gigs given to me, and I turned them down because I was like too big at the time. I was too popular, and I started going to college, and I realized, oh my God, this is like a whole new world that I'm not used to. I even took a job. I never had a job in my life. I've always been an entrepreneur my whole life. I had a job. My roommate begged me to try to keep a job for 2 weeks. So I went and got this job at a hotel, a fancy hotel in San Diego, and I said, oh my God, that is me out there in that table eating, and I'm serving these people. I'm done with this, you know? I couldn't even last a week.
Dude, I had the same experience.
Yeah. I mean,
You were the waiter?
I was the busboy.
Yeah, I was a busboy too. I hated that.
And I had to interview 3 times for that job.
Wow. Wow.
To make what?
The
$4 an
interviews
hour.
lasted longer than the job did.
Yeah, exactly. You're not even kidding. So I was like, that's me out there. I mean, there's the sea behind me, and this person out here, and I am over here like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going into the work. Well, everybody's like, get a job, get a job. That's not for me. It's not for me. So I had to find ways to create opportunity. And having a radio show, being a professional bike rider, did that for me. I don't chase. In my words, I say, people chase. They cold call, they chase. I want to be the chased. Look at those women.
Well, everybody wants to be chased, dude. But I mean, the reality is, I've had to do a lot of chasing.
Of course.
I've had to do a lot
But if you
of.
do your chasing to be chased, not just be chased, because a lot of people circle it. They just chase. They don't think of becoming a good
No, that's right.
Cardone.
That's right. I wish I had this advice early on. Like, hey, the goal is to get so much attention from so many different areas. So let's say this guy. I'm going to go back to this
go ahead.
23-year-old
I like
person
this.
that's setting up because we're manufacturing
I
celebrity.
appreciate your attention to this, by the way.
No, dude. I think this is a very, very important thing. They don't teach it in school. They don't teach it in college. Your parents certainly didn't teach you this. Look, you got to become the expert, or you're going to be underpaid your entire life. And if you're going to chase something, this would be the thing to chase because you and I know celebrities, dude, they got attention. Money follows attention, power follows attention, fame follows attention, and if you want to make a really powerful effect on this planet, people have to know you. So I've made a decision. I'm going to manufacture a celebrity. I'm going to become a magnet of attraction. I'm going to collaborate with others, possibly, maybe do a podcast.
Right.
Get on a show with
Absolutely.
Grant Cardone like you're doing today.
Yeah.
Grant would then get on a show with other people that have a bigger audience than he has.
Yep.
Again, I'm a little troubled still with what is my message? How do I clarify what I'm an expert on?
That comes with going back to yourself and seeing your authentic self. You've kind of talked about it. I talk about it all the time. Is you really got to find out who you are and what you stand for, and that goes along with your brand. Okay, so if you're into charities or you're into different things, you have to kind of carry that with you. You can't be a fake.
So maybe I do these haircuts, man, and I love hair.
Yep.
So how do I work the authentic self into haircuts?
Okay, so you do haircuts for men or women. Now maybe there's a certain type of haircut you can use as your icon, your logo, right?
Yeah.
Like look at Donald Trump, right? Is the hair thing. I mean,
Right.
Everybody's trying to make fun of it, but it only makes them bigger.
Yeah.
So
because he embraced that.
Right.
He started embracing it and selling it rather than resisting it.
Yeah.
He started talking about his hair. He talked about his hair so much now nobody wants to talk about hair. It's like it's an old thing, man. Let's talk about something new. Now he's a racist.
Master reframer. It's just awesome. But
So find the authentic self. Like I was doing something on this last night, and I said, hey, what is that? What does that mean? What does it mean for Robert, who's a freaking super video guy, right? Rock star video guy. So I'm like, hey, Robert, you need to be the video genius.
Yes.
You're
I
great,
just
bro.
posted
You love
Video
it, right?
Genius.
And that's where we came up with Video Genius. So find that thing that you love so much, and man,
Open it up.
open it up.
And I'm still working on it. I'm sure you're still working on it. It's
totally.
it's learning to just rip this open and be out there and say and do and feel what you want to do, instead of feeling like you have to be politically correct. People respect you when you make mistakes. People say, oh my God, I'm gonna screw up, and it's gonna be a disaster. People respect you when you make mistakes because they're like, this person's real.
Dennis Langlais, okay, his show is 5 Minute Bark. He's manufacturing celebrity. He wants to help you I had him on Ask a Pro today because I know the importance, the benefits, and the long-term value you becoming an expert and a celebrity in your field.
Thank you.